Stop walking into Thanksgiving like it's a celebration. Treat it like the battlefield it secretly is. Because the moment you forget the politics, you become the easy target everyone circles without hesitation. You already know this instinctively. You've felt the tension years before you understood it. You sensed the glances, the comparisons, the subtle jabs disguised as jokes, the questions that weren't questions, but evaluations. And yet you kept approaching it with naive politeness, hoping people would behave better this time. They won't. And if you don't prepare, you'll fall exactly where they expect you to. Thanksgiving is not a dinner. It's a stage where old rivalries, envy, power plays, insecurity, and unresolved family dynamics sharpen themselves under the surface. Every seat carries intention, every word carries implication, every silence carries judgment, and those who understand this dominate the night without raising their voice. You've been dominated for years without noticing. Your first mistake is assuming people want harmony. They don't. They want position. They want validation. They want to prove growth, superiority, resilience, competence. They want to show that they're doing better than last year and better than you. If you arrive unprepared, you play their game by their rules. You need to understand the invisible structure running beneath Thanksgiving. Families create hierarchies, and those hierarchies crystallize during these gatherings. The confident hold court, the insecure attack, the jealous compare, the weak imitate, and the unaware become entertainment. To survive this, you must see everyone's intention before they show it. You're not just entering a room, you're entering a chessboard. Every piece has a predictable movement. Every personality has a predictable attack. The uncle who pretends to joke but wants to humiliate, the cousin who competes with your achievements, the parent who uses questions to expose your vulnerabilities, the sibling who tries to reclaim old dominance, the in-law who hides contempt behind politeness, the aunt who criticizes lifestyles to feel superior, the family friend who treats you like a child because it's the only identity they remember. Thanksgiving isn't friendly, it's familiar, and familiarity breeds the most refined forms of manipulation. Now hear the ruthless law governing these environments. People reveal their motives the moment you stop reacting. You've spent your life reacting to jabs, reacting to pressure, reacting to questions, reacting to comparisons. Your reactions gave them ammunition. From now on, you will show nothing. Not emptiness, not weakness, just calm, strategic, unbothered neutrality. Because nobody knows how to fight someone who doesn't reveal emotion. Neutrality is your armor, silence is your weapon, presence is your strategy. Understand the mechanism behind this. Family politics are not about truth, they're about dominance narratives. People compete through stories. Who's doing better? Who made the right decisions? Who aged best? Who earns more? Who failed? Who succeeded? Who has control? Who lost it? The moment you defend yourself, you lose. The moment you explain yourself, you shrink. The moment you justify yourself, you kneel. The man who doesn't defend, doesn't explain, and doesn't justify becomes untouchable. Now use structure. You need discipline to survive and win. First, enter the house like a man immune to nostalgia. Most people walk in looking for acceptance. You walk in as if you're observing a political summit. Slow your steps. Align your posture. Keep your breath steady. You are not here for emotional comfort. You are here to maintain psychological sovereignty. Second, control your reactions. People will test you immediately. Long time no see. Still single? Still at that job? Gained some weight, huh? You finally doing something with your life? These are not questions. These are probes. They want to see if you are still the version of you they used to dominate. You answer with calm minimalism, neutral tone, stable eyes, short sentences, no defense, no justification. Neutral men terrify those who rely on provoking reactions. Third, use silence as judgment. When someone throws a jab, don't respond quickly. Hold the silence for 2 seconds. Look at them. Let them feel the weight of your stillness. Then answer calmly, without emotion. Your silence will expose their insecurity louder than any comeback. Fourth, choose your seat like a strategist. Do not sit at the edge like prey. Do not sit at the center like a performer. Sit where you can see the entire battlefield. Your vision gives you advantage. Your distance gives you neutrality. Your posture gives you control. Fifth, never match anyone's emotional energy. If they escalate, you de-escalate. If they joke too aggressively, you stay calm. If they compare, you detach. If they talk loudly, you speak slowly. If they fish for validation, you give none. Let them drown in their own performance. Now see how these laws apply in real moments. Imagine you walk into the dining room and your competitive cousin notices you first. He smiles too wide, the smile of someone ready to attack politely. So, still stuck in that small apartment? Before, you would have defended, explained, laughed nervously. Not now. You look at him with steady neutrality. You pause. You answer slowly. I'm right where I need to be. No emotion, no apology, no details. The room feels the tension. He feels exposed. He expected a performance. You gave him a wall. Walls win. Now imagine your aunt corners you with the classic interrogation disguised as concern. Have you thought about settling down? You're not getting younger. You don't defend your choices. You don't explain your strategy. You don't offer vulnerability. You answer calmly. I prefer to make decisions at my own pace. Then you stop talking. She searches your silence for weakness. She finds none. She moves on. This is how you reverse pressure. Now remove the behaviors that have destroyed your Thanksgiving experience for years. Stop giving long explanations. Stop laughing at jokes that target you. Stop filling silence with nervous comments. Stop comparing your achievements. Stop seeking approval from people whose opinions shouldn't matter. Stop revisiting old family roles that kept you small. You are not the child they once knew. You are not the teenager they once criticized. You are not the version of yourself they built in their minds. You walk into Thanksgiving as the man you've become, not the identity they prefer. Now visualize the closing transformation. You enter the house with calm authority. You respond with minimalism. You move slowly. You sit strategically. You observe everything. You reveal nothing. You let others project their insecurities into silence you control. By the time the night ends, something subtle has shifted. People speak to you with more caution. They look at you differently. They treat you with the respect they never gave you freely. Because now you didn't come for emotional approval. You came with Machiavellian awareness. You came with strategic composure. You came with psychological armor. And men who carry this kind of presence never leave ignored again. If you belong to the few strong enough to navigate family politics with intelligence and cold composure, leave your mark below and subscribe, because not everyone is built for the kind of power you're stepping into. You've survived the opening moves of Thanksgiving, but the real danger begins after the first hour. When people loosen, when inhibitions fade, when comparisons sharpen, when resentment rises, and when everyone begins to reveal the version of themselves they try to hide the rest of the year. This is the stage where power shifts. This is where hierarchy is exposed. This is where old wounds resurface as jokes. This is where family politics become blood sport disguised as tradition. And this is where you must evolve from defensive presence to strategic dominance. Your old self would collapse here. Your new self won't. You need to understand the second law of social survival. People repeat old patterns unless someone interrupts the pattern with controlled authority. If you do not change how you behave, they will keep treating you exactly as they always have. They don't update their perception unless you force an update. And you update it through cold stillness, not explanations. Thanksgiving becomes dangerous when familiarity turns into a weapon. After all, strangers can't hurt you the way family can. Family knows where your insecurities live. Family remembers your failures. Family knows the pressure points you thought you buried, and some of them will push those points with a smile. You need to be unreadable, unshakable, and unconcerned. People can't weaponize what they can't see. Now let's dissect the battlefield. The living room is where subtle politics start. The dining room is where they intensify. The kitchen is where alliances form. The hallway is where whispers happen. The table is where everyone masks their intention under tradition. Most men walk blind into all of this. You won't. Your power begins with observation. Quiet observation. Predatory observation. You watch everything but reveal nothing. Watch the alliances. Watch the passive-aggressive smiles. Watch who tries too hard. Watch who drinks too fast. Watch who tests first. Watch who stands where. Watch who avoids you. Watch who seeks you out too eagerly. Everyone's behavior is a confession. Your silence makes them talk more, and the more they talk, the more they expose their motives. Now let's unfold the second part of your strategy. Control the tempo of the environment. People with power slow the tempo. People without power rush. You will move, speak, react, breathe, and reposition with absolute slowness. Not laziness, composure. When someone speaks to you with intensity, you answer with slow precision. When someone demands an update on your life, you pause, think, and give a minimal, controlled answer. Your calm becomes a mirror they can't escape. Their anxiety rebounds into embarrassment. Now examine the psychological mechanism. People fear what they cannot predict. Thanksgiving gatherings rely heavily on predictability. Everyone expects you to respond the same way you always have. The moment you break that pattern, they lose footing. They poke you with questions. They expect you to rush. You don't. They expect you to justify. You don't. They expect you to overshare. You don't. They expect you to laugh nervously. You don't. They expect you to collapse under pressure. You don't. They cannot fight the version of you they no longer recognize. Now, let me walk you through the 7 threats you will face during Thanksgiving and how to counter each with strategy instead of emotion. Threat 1. The interrogator. This is the family member who treats your life as a curiosity project. How's work? Are you making enough? Still renting? Why aren't you married yet? Each question is a disguised attack, a way to reassert control. Your counter is minimalism. Answer with as few words as possible, slowly, calmly, coldly. Minimal answers create maximum discomfort. The interrogator relies on detail. You deny them detail. Their power collapses. Threat 2. The jokester. This one uses humor to humiliate. They hide cruelty under laughter. They make the room laugh at your expense. Your counter is silence. No smile, no reaction. You look at them with stillness that cuts deeper than confrontation. The lack of emotional payoff destroys their momentum. Jokes need audience. You deny the audience. They fail. Threat 3. The comparer. They live to show they're doing better. They update you about promotions, achievements, investments, new purchases. They weaponize progress. Your counter is detachment. You acknowledge their statement with calm neutrality. A short nod. A slow breath. No validation. No praise. Their achievement loses value instantly. Comparison requires competition. You refuse to compete. They lose. Threat 4. The provoker. This is the relative who tries to draw out anger. They raise their voice. They escalate topics. They seek emotional reaction. Your counter is temperature control. You respond slower, lower, colder. You shrink emotional intensity to 0. They suddenly look unhinged next to your composure. Provokers need chaos. You give them stillness. They look foolish. Threat 5. The victim. This one manipulates through guilt. Oh, you never call. You forgot about family. You're too distant now. They want to pull you back into obligation. Your counter is boundaries, short sentences, calm tone, no apology. You acknowledge without surrendering emotional responsibility. Victims need repentance. You give them stability. They lose leverage. Threat 6. The competitor, usually a sibling or cousin. They see every topic as a contest. Career, relationships, money, lifestyle, success. Your counter is refusal to participate. No long explanations, no emotional investment. You answer with factual calmness. Competition dies when one side refuses the arena. Competitors need rivalry. You give them indifference. They collapse. Threat 7. The passive-aggressive pretender. They hide hostility under politeness. That's an interesting choice you made. You always do things your way, I see. Good for you. Must be nice. Your counter is direct neutrality, not confrontation, not defense. You answer literally and calmly. Their sarcasm evaporates. Passive aggression needs confusion. You give clarity. They fold. Now let's see these threats in action. Imagine the moment the meal begins. Everyone sits. Plates pass. Voices rise. And then it happens. Someone throws the first subtle attack of the night. Maybe it's your older relative saying, "So, when are you planning to grow up and settle down?" Before, you would have been flustered. Not now. You turn slowly. You look at them. Neutral expression. No smile. No nervousness. No justification. You answer with composed minimalism. When the time is right. Then silence. The whole table absorbs the tension. They expected weakness. You delivered iron. Or imagine a competitive cousin brags loudly about their achievements while glancing at you for reaction. You don't give it. You remain calm. You breathe slowly. You nod once without expression. Your indifference becomes a psychological strike. Their achievement loses its purpose. Or imagine a provocative family member tries to drag you into a political argument. Their tone sharpens. Their voice grows. They push and push. You don't engage. You respond with one slow, even sentence. "I'm not interested in that topic right now." Then silence. They flail in their own aggression. You remain unmoved. Now address the poison that destroys most men during Thanksgiving. The urge to prove yourself. You want to show growth, success, maturity, intelligence. You want approval from people who don't even live your life. But the moment you try to prove anything, you accept their authority over your identity. Never prove, never defend, never justify. Men who need approval remain children in their family forever. Men who need nothing become unpredictable. And unpredictable men gain respect. Now envision yourself as the silent center of gravity at the dinner table. You eat slowly. You respond slowly. You observe deeply. You speak minimally. You move with deliberation. Your presence becomes undeniable not because you demand attention, but because you no longer seek it. The family dynamic recalibrates around you. People hesitate before attacking. People soften before questioning. People speak to you with new restraint. People sense a new contour in your identity. Your silence becomes the boundary nobody dares cross. Now imagine the final moments of the evening. People gather their coats. Hugs are exchanged. Empty compliments drift around the room. Everyone falls back into predictable patterns. But something subtle has changed. They look at you differently. They speak to you differently. They treat you differently. You didn't perform. You didn't compete. You didn't justify. You didn't collapse. You didn't regress into the version of yourself they remember. You remained sovereign. And sovereignty, even in a family environment, demands quiet respect. Walk out of that house with slow steps, controlled breath, steady posture, neutral expression. You survived the battlefield without bowing to it. Men who master the dark side of Thanksgiving master any social environment they walk into. If you're ready to keep developing the kind of presence only a select group of powerful men possess, leave your mark below and subscribe, because this path isn't for everyone, only for those strong enough to walk it without apology.